After being rejected by his own parents, Mike Tyson is adopted by a man who believes in his potential to become the greatest boxer in the world. Today we're going to recap the story of the 1995 movie, Tyson. During his teenage years, Mike is greatly influenced by his friends, who encourage him to attack a group of young people with a gun. Approaching the team stealthily, the young man fires his pistol several times, causing the teenagers to flee in desperation. Even so, he continues to believe that he has done something nice for his companions, who have left him alone at the scene. Faced with this situation, the young man throws the murder weapon into an alley and rushes off. After that, Tyson commits dozens of crimes, such as robbery and possession of a firearm, and is charged and imprisoned for all of them. A few years later, boxing managers watch as Mike finishes off his opponent in the ring, firing powerful punches until they demand he stop. Even though he believes the young man is fighting for the wrong reasons, Mr. Cuss takes him home to give him a place to live and profit from his victories. However, the owner of the house, Camille, has no sympathy for the fighter, even though she houses other people just like him. The next day, he is woken up very early for intensive training, in which he must train his punches and his stamina to the point of physical exhaustion, following a strict routine every day. During Tyson's training sessions, Cuss closely follows his progress, providing encouragement and valuable guidance on strategies to adopt in the fight. Despite having a quiet life, Mike receives the sad news that his mother has passed away. At the funeral, one of his old friends asks him if he's going to move back to his old house, but he replies that he already has a home. In Colorado, the young fighter is about to enter a championship. Even though he's terrified, he manages to recover and rehearses for the fight in the locker room. However, he ends up knocking over one of the lockers with his tremendous strength, surprising everyone around him. After entering the ring, the young man starts throwing punches and knocking down his opponent, who doesn't get up after the 10-second count, making Tyson the winner. Meanwhile, Cuss follows the victory from afar, discovering that his boxer finished the fight in a few seconds and set a new junior Olympic record. Soon afterwards, the man admits to Camille that he intends to adopt his new partner, since he no longer has a mother and has become an orphan as a result. After Mike arrives home, the man reveals that he wants to be his guardian and he accepts without a second thought. What's more, the lady of the house confesses that she would love to be called mother. Later, the young man eavesdrops on his adoptive father's conversation with Jimmy and Bill, who claim that he will be the new heavyweight champion. Camille then catches Tyson eavesdropping on the adults' conversation, so she introduces him to her two partners, who are fight organizers. During the evening, he goes out with his friend Rory, who suggests that Cuss is deceiving him, since there are many young people with the same characteristics who are led to believe in a perfect career. Mike doesn't seem to mind, turning his attention to two girls on the sidewalk, who are smiling at them. Rory quickly parks the car and the two of them set off in search of the girls. After the girls enter an establishment, the young man follows them and demands that the staff find their location. However, everyone believes that Tyson is hysterical and asks him to leave the premises. Faced with this, he gets angry and starts destroying the convenience store's merchandise, which causes the civilians to call the police, but Rory manages to convince his friend to get out of there as soon as possible. A few days later, Coach Teddy is infuriated because the young wrestler has been missing for 3 days. He believes that Mike needs discipline, but Cuss suggests that he leave school, as it could be a bad influence on his life. At the same moment, the younger man is surprised by his niece Jamie, who claims to have been harassed by Tyson, which makes her uncle furious. Later, Teddy presses the young man against a tree and threatens him with a gun. After Mike questions the coach's intentions, he is surprised when his opponent fires the pistol in the opposite direction to his head. The next day, Cuss fires the man for confronting his Wonder Boy. Even so, Tyson continues to evolve and defeats all his opponents, claiming that his secret is to climb into the ring even though he's terrified. The young man takes down more and more men who confront him. At the same time, his father accompanies him closely in every confrontation, even though he doesn't feel very well. During a fight, Kevin notices that Cuss has disappeared from the audience. Later, Mike discovers that his tutor has disappeared because he was in hospital. Faced with this, the young boxer despairs and breaks into the clinic. When he finds the old man on the verge of perishing, Tyson begs him to stay strong, but the man says goodbye, making one last request: that his son becomes a winner. The next day, Mike mourns the loss of his adoptive father by talking to Jimmy, who consoles him. In his next fight, the young man takes on Burbick, throwing blows that cause his opponent to fall quickly. Even so, the man tries to recover to defend his title, but he doesn't have enough strength, making Tyson the heavyweight champion at the age of 20. Afterwards, he celebrates the victory with his team and dedicates it to his late father. Kevin then tries to explain new attacks to his pupil while they are watching a championship on TV. However, Mike takes an interest in other channels and hits the guy when he insists on teaching him. Later, he admits to Jimmy that he's in love with a girl from television, which leads the man to mock him. Still, he tries to make a call to the beautiful Robin, who answers quickly, but he gets nervous and hangs up the phone. After trying again, he manages to talk to his beloved, who agrees to go on a date. Sometime later, the girl attends a Tyson fight. In the ring, he receives several blows from his opponent. Realizing that his fighter could lose the fight, Kevin suggests that he concentrate, or he could lose his girlfriend to the new champion. Faced with this situation, Tyson gets up and throws a series of punches at his opponent, dodging the blows his enemy tries to land. Despite this, his opponent persists in trying to hit him, but Mike prevents him from counterattacking by pushing him against the ring barrier. However, the referee warns of the boxer's inadequate strategy, so they both return to their seats. Even so, he continues to land several blows until victory is declared. A while later, the young boxer reveals to his adoptive mother that he has married and is going to be a father. However, he also finds out that Jimmy has passed away. While waiting for a driver, Tyson's team is surprised by Don King, who offers the young man a lift. After accepting the trip, he is presented with an offer by his manager, in which he will receive $5 million for every fight he wins, only needing to win 5 rounds considered easy. Mike replies that he will consider the deal. During Jimmy's funeral, the fighter reveals Don's intentions to his manager Bill, saying that he didn't accept the tempting offer. Afterwards, Tyson confesses to Kevin that he doesn't trust anyone else after becoming rich, not even Robin. At the same time, she seems to sympathize with the ideas of her husband's new manager, Don King, suggesting that there is something between them. In fact, the man believes that Bill is keeping his client in an unfair contract. However, Mike thinks he has everything under control. While Robin tells the media that her relationship with the boxer is based on tradition and love, Don observes from a distance and confides in his colleagues that his wife is dishonest, has never been a famous model, didn't graduate from Harvard and isn't even really pregnant. Later, Tyson's manager becomes angry at his low payment of only $3 million, claiming to Bill that he should receive a higher reward, but the manager doesn't agree with him. At home, Mike rushes up to his wife's room, where he finds her lying on the bed in tears. At the same time, he learns of the loss of the baby and is comforted by his mother-in-law. During a game of cards, Kevin's colleagues wonder if the fighter isn't going to prepare for the next challenge. Suddenly, Tyson appears and gets angry when the trainer presses him. Nevertheless, he resumes his training, dodging his opponent with ease. After the first fight, the other opponent is about to enter the ring, but Mike doesn't feel like fighting, which makes Kevin furious. Rory advises the trainer not to push Tyson, since he's just lost a child. However, the man continues to irritate him, now revealing that Robin wasn't really pregnant, and that she's been deceiving him all this time. He then asks his next opponent to climb into the ring, demanding that no one use protection. He then suggests that his opponent attack him with all his might, so he receives several blows to the face, but he doesn't let himself be shaken. However, the guy hesitates for a moment, then Mike goes in on him, throwing powerful punches, giving him no chance to fight back. Even after the referee blew the whistle, the boxer continued to hit his enemy, causing him to pass out from the pain. Afterwards, Tyson issues a challenge to his next rival, saying that he will only give him 10 seconds to win the fight. His opponent quickly lands a few blows, but the champion remains on his feet as the countdown draws to a close. When the man reaches number 10, he lunges at his opponent, giving him no room to fight back. After winning the second fight, he demands that his next opponent climb into the ring, but his request is denied, despite offering money for it. A few moments before the important fight begins, the fighter's mother-in-law and Don arrange for some documents to be delivered to Bill, who realizes that this is his resignation, a decision made by Robin. During a training session in the locker room, the boxer hears over the radio that Spinks is the favorite of the night, as he is much stronger than him. After Kevin prepares him, Mike delivers extremely fast blows before the fight. He then crosses the audience protected by police officers and his team, who are carrying his championship belt. The 12-round world heavyweight title fight will be decided by Michael Spinks, who has won 31 fights and has never lost, while Tyson has 34 wins and no losses. After the start of the first round, he begins by throwing several punches at his opponent, who tries to fight back, but fails miserably. Tyson is then warned for using his elbows in his attacks. After resuming the fight, he charges at his opponent, landing several blows on the man, who is unable to dodge in time. The referee then asks Spinks to recover. Nevertheless, Mike goes after him and hits him with all his might, which causes the referee to declare a break in the fight. After the break, the fighter doesn't give his enemy a chance and hits him full in the face, causing him to fall and lose the fight after the 10-second count. Soon after, Kevin climbs into the ring to congratulate the boxer, followed by Robin and Don. Just as Tyson is being lifted up by his team to show off his belt, his trainer finds out that he has also been fired. After a while, at Mike's mansion, his mother-in-law scolds the staff for not managing the house properly. Meanwhile, the boxer and his wife are interviewed in the living room, where she admits that it's horrible to go through all those fights, that her husband is manic and depressive and doesn't treat her well. What's more, she claims that she still loves him, and that she wants to live with him forever. However, the woman confesses that she will only stay by his side if he seeks help. The next day, 2 policemen knock on Tyson's door and are surprised by a terrible fight. Suddenly, Robin and her mother are thrown out screaming by the owner of the house, who is in a hysterical state. After returning to the house, he appears again with a vase in his hands, throwing the object against the floor in front of the officers. Faced with this situation, the guards argue that he shouldn't threaten his wife, but the boxer stands up to them even though he knows he could be charged, slamming the door in their faces. At the same time, Mike's mother-in-law starts demanding that her son-in-law be arrested. After hearing this, he returns to the outside of the house and advances towards the 2 women. However, the policeman is quick to point his gun, causing the boxer to get into his car and leave the scene in a rage. After this event, Robin filed for divorce, claiming to the press that her husband had threatened her and could do something horrible at any moment. What's more, she admits to having suffered during the marriage, because Tyson knew where to hit so as not to cause serious injury. Later, Mike is enjoying his single life and is surprised by a crazy man, who confesses in front of everyone that he is with the boxer's ex-wife, who gets serious right away. In the middle of the crowd, he walks towards the man, who receives a terrible punch and is extremely badly injured. In Japan, Tyson is preparing to face a great fighter called Douglas. During the fight, he receives several attacks, but also manages to fight back, but he is very tired, which makes his opponent hit him even harder. Shortly afterwards, the 2 grappled and were separated by the referee. When the fight restarts, Mike hits his opponent with a single blow, causing him to fall. However, before the end of the count, the guy manages to get up, despite feeling exhausted. In the audience, Don King claims that the man remained on the ground for more than 10 seconds, suggesting that the referee is manipulating the fight. While he's recovering, Mike asks his team to deliver a bag of ice, only to discover that the supply is almost gone. After resuming the fight, he attacks his enemy, but ends up taking a few blows. Blocking the counterattack, Douglas lunges forward, landing several powerful punches on his opponent, who shows extreme fatigue, receiving even more blows directly to the face. Seeing the situation, the referee stopped the round. During the interruption, Mike is furious with his team, who are slow to provide the bench. At the same time, they inform him that the ice has run out, which is crucial at this point, as it is needed to reduce the swelling in the boxer's eye, which is almost closed. After the fight resumes, he receives another blow and tries to return the attack, but throws a punch into the void, leaving room for his opponent to hit him, causing his eye to close completely. Soon after, Douglas attacks Tyson's face with increasing force, causing him to fall to the ground. The referee then starts the 10-second count, but the boxer struggles to get up. When the count is at 7, Mike puts the dental guard in the wrong way and finally manages to stand up at the last second. However, the referee declares the fight over. After the defeat, Don King decided to demand that the organizers of the event reconsider the ending of the fight, since Douglas was on the ground for almost 16 seconds during one of the counts. However, Tyson has already accepted his defeat. Even so, the manager insists on bringing him this victory, asking the fighter to accept it if the organizing committee considers him the true champion. After a few days, Mike goes to his old academy and remembers his late father, which leads him to visit his adoptive mother. At a modeling show, he is pressured by reporters who claim that the boxer is meeting his ex-wife again. On noticing the boxer's presence, the girls are excited to meet him and he strikes up a conversation with one of them, immediately falling in love. Later, he calls Desiree and invites her to a party attended by celebrities. After accepting the invitation, the woman accompanies Tyson to his hotel, where he informs her that he's just going to find his bodyguard to accompany him to the event. However, the fighter takes the girl up to his room, insisting that she come in. In fact, after the events of that night, Mike was convicted of several crimes involving accusations made by the women he was involved with. In addition, he divorced Robin, and Kevin filed a complaint against the boxer for damages. Faced with these accusations, Tyson was arrested. However, he was released in 1995, declaring that he was ending his boxing career. At the same time, Don King remained his manager, but was tried for insurance fraud in the same year. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.